Hey, y'all. First of all, I'm going to do my lashes. So just bear with me. I look like a naked mole rat right at the moment. We're okay with that. Secondly, had a whole thing planned for today and we just got severe thunderstorms. It's shit weather here and my power keeps flickering. So we're going to give it a few minutes and see if it sticks around. I might not be able to do it right now. I might have to come back this afternoon because it's real shitty outside. But let's get going and see how far we get into this. You can hear it in the background.
You're beautiful but unsatisfied since day one. You were getting teased and it scarred you when you were young. Now you're getting older and you've been on the grind. Your paper off the scale so you feel like it's time. So you got a nose job, that's the primary thing. People tease you as a kid and for some reason you hit. Always into high fashion, girl, you heavy like lead. Liposuction out your shell like a chicken and egg. Feeling confident but now you're becoming obsessed. First your nose, then your weight, now your butt and your breast. It's a vanity fair, cosmetic overdose. Fiending for a next operation like it was dope. Now you feel the need to skin pill, your skin's no good. But if those around you were real, they'll tell you the truth. Just because you spending thousands, that don't make it alright. Had one problem, now it's many going under the knife. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on. Vanity Fair, yeah. Changing one or two things, cool girl, do you? Do you wanna be beautiful and look like you? Or do you wanna look like someone you saw in a magazine or video, but not in the raw? I like nice shaped bodies, bikinis Brazilian, but too much of anything just isn't appealing. Some people spend a lifetime, even a million. No grace like those unhappy when chilling. A girl with a big butt, big lips, small hips is what we all love to see, and men dream about this. There is nothing wrong with getting something broken fixed. Some women get a breast job cause cancer assists. Some women want to please their man and insist. And a woman really loves you if she wants to do this. But abuse ain't the same as intention with care. So be careful of the drug called the Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, faceline, look at your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on.
Hey, y'all. Okay, let me go up here. I'm going to try to start it out in hopes that it will not kick off, but it's thundering for sure. I'll take it though. I don't like so. Hey, Angie. Hey, Stargazer. Hey, Trauma Punks, Amethyst, Kathy P, ASU Mom, Angel. Again, y'all, I don't have lashes on, so I look funny as hell. Becca, Trauma Punks, Saucy, Rockabit, Fama, Starry Night, Nancy, Patty. I really need to get glasses. I keep saying that. I've been saying that for 10 months, and I just put it off. Patty was that Justice, Cool Gamer, Freeside, Marcy, not a Rebecca, Brenda, Greg, Tammy, Jackie, Brittany, Tallulah, Daisy, LG, Carla, Brooke. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't know if it's going to last anyways. Millie. Didn't miss anybody. The Good Nunya. My internet goes bye-bye. I always have internet problems. Pebbles. Happy Hippie. Opa's Angel. Just Jake. Drama Llama Mama. Self-proclaimed detective. All right. Thank you. I saw that, Saucy. Hey, Revival. Okay. I'm behind, as you guys all know. Like, I swear, coming back after vacation, it takes so much mental space. And then my kids have been, my littlest one, we think it's allergies that are getting her now, but she keeps getting sick. Like, she just, her poor allergies. And it's been interesting. So please bear with me. I'm sorry. I've been all over the place. I'm not consistent like I normally am at all. I'm kind of all up here, but I want to take us back to a point in time, to the facts, why I'm here, why I'm going to do Spanky content, why I'm going to do L content, and the big picture of all of this, because people are missing the point. And I got a message yesterday from obviously one of Spanky's supporters, and the person was it was an alt. Who fucking knows who it is, but they were very misunderstood. They were very confused. Why innocent little Spanky would be talked about? Why would Spanky be talked about? I don't know what they've been watching. The person claims to be a longtime sub of his. He's never done anything to cases. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't really even speculate that much. Like, in their opinion, he is not problematic at all. And that's not the truth. We all know that. Nana L, Sally, hey y'all. Sorry, I'm missing some of you guys coming in. He's very problematic. So I figured we would start here. Why do I have a problem with Spanky? Well, first and foremost, it's not personal. None of this is personal. This is all about the facts and the facts only. And well, Spanky happened to kind of do a whole lot. I'm going to remind you guys of something. Not only we've talked about the Jose story, we've talked about what he was a part of with Marvon, which we're going to go back through some of that. We're going to listen to the Jose interview, which I know is problematic for a lot of people. So just before we get into that, but it's not just the big cases that we're talking about. The Idaho 4, I want to play a clip for you and remind you of what they did when there was not a suspect yet named publicly in the Idaho 4 case. This is from December 16th, 2022.
In those theories, it just can't be all right out there. So that's just what I want to say about that. So the other day,
can you hear it?
A channel called Unresolved Crimes. It's a small channel. And
Stargazer, absolutely.
A lot of people are checking out another creator's interview with Anand, but nobody's really talking.
So for those of you that don't understand what he's talking about, so in the Idaho 4 case, before a suspect was actually named, creators were running around, people were giving interviews. There was a neighbor of the home who went on a bunch of channels, put himself kind of in the hot seat, and they ran with it. But I want you to remember that these people are random Joe Schmoes. Justin is no different than any of us. He has no credentials. He is a voice on the internet. That's it. That's all. He's not an investigative authority whatsoever.
About this interview, because it hasn't been viewed that many times, because maybe it's a small channel. And I want to go over this interview with you guys.
I'm looking
today.
down because I'm doing my lashes. Sorry, y'all.
I got
hey, Miss Lee.
I miss you.
I hope you're doing good.
With you guys, maybe an hour and a half. And I want to highlight them. The channel is called Unresolved Crimes. This is their interview. Credit is due to them. I am just using this under the Fair Use Act of
Sunny Girl, absolutely.
1976.
That's his intro music.
Okay, sorry, wrong one. That was not it. That was a very old
I'll be right back. I gotta go get a
thing.
I got him. Never mind.
So we're just using this under the Fair Use Act of 1976. And we're going to get started.
By the way, if you don't know, Miss Lee is a world famous YouTube sub, and Revival is a world famous moderator, just so you guys know if you're understanding. What else do you guys want to be? We need new tents too, by the way.
Mods, I would like for you to drop the link to this channel.
Why? Can I just ask you a question? I mean, you guys, my mods over here are amazing, absolutely incredible. And like Elle drops links so fast, I can't even see straight usually. But do all creators like mods? Since when do mods work for us? I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it. But okay. Side note. Sorry.
Unresolved crimes periodically.
Hello, you guys were in the yes. Did you not notice? Revival said it yesterday. Please do not put metal in your eye. The vape cabana is staying. The herbalist cabana is staying. We just need to add some additional ones. Hey, Kitten Claus. We can all be famous. You guys in the comment section while we're listening to him, because I know it's absolutely mind-blowing. Tell me what you want to be famous on the internet for. The fastest growing fupa in the West, or the fastest fupa in the West. Look at Kitten Claus coming in hot. She's got her infamy picked out already. Thank you so much for that too, by the way. Yeah, Nunya, isn't it crazy? Like, it's crazy to me. I'm sorry. I love my mods dearly. They do a lot for me. They help a lot, but I just can't get that. I can't get it. Rook, thank you for becoming a member of the cabana. Welcome to the cabana. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Nunya, you do not get that one. You don't get that one. There's people that do way more than you. I want to know. You want to be famous for my wittiness. I like that. Self-proclaimed. Okay, let's go. You guys tell me in the comments. I'm going to read the comments. This is boring, I know.
So that people can subscribe to them and go see more of their content. It's unresolved.
Elle, you are so appreciated. All of you guys are appreciated, but it's just crazy. Like, I would never expect that shit from you guys. Like, I don't expect that. Yeah, Nunya, I haven't either. It's just weird. I would never ask you guys to do that. The press tent news was that justice. I love that one.
Crimes.
You can run that one.
Also later, for people with the replay, it is in the description as well. So
it's like paint drying. Mystical Magnolias, what's up? Hey, Margot.
Without further ado, let's get started.
Oh, we're just now starting finally.
Out at
10 minutes later, Spanky is finally starting. Hey, is the Gray Shitter in the house today? Are you here? Are you still on timeout? I heard you were triggered Tube Top Tammy yesterday. I've just heard. I haven't watched it, but sorry about your feelings.
Where
not
Anon comes in. Okay. And I will.
So just for those of you that are trying to remember what's going on here, he's talking about the Idaho 4 case. And the reason I'm doing this is because people are really misunderstanding that. They don't think he does any speculation or anything. And the reason I'm playing this is because he's been doing this current time, but we're going to back it up to the Jose interview. But I wanted to play this first to give people, this is currently happening. This is what they do. Oh, Millie, I was petty yesterday for sure.
Put the closed captions on.
Margot, I will. When we go to his video, I will.
Feeling I do proper investigation, right? I try to cover the facts, and I only cover the facts.
So he covers this. He covers, I'm going to back that up. He covers the interview that was played on somebody else's channel. Now, remember, this guy was never named as a suspect, never named anything. He is the neighbor of the people at the Idaho 4 house. He went around doing interviews, but I want you to talk about, yes, this is nap time. This is nap time. Get it all in. You won't offend me at all.
They said that they're not a suspect. Now,
this is called self-care. This is when you get to put an earbud in and tell Becky she's fucking crazy to make you listen to this and take a nap. Take a nap.
From what I understand.
From what he understands.
They have not said Anon is not a suspect.
He says they have not said Anon is not a suspect. Okay. This is the important part. I just sped it up.
I'm aware of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, he has said some interesting things. He does, in my opinion, like the limelight. And he kind of really admits that. And, you know, he's got a little bit of a history. Okay.
He's got a little bit of a history. This is a random stranger who was the neighbor of the Idaho 4, right? The man put himself in this limelight. I get that. But of course, these YouTubers ran with it. Did you just hear what he said, though? He's got a past. Why would Justin know that he's got a past? Oh, wait, did they pull a background check on a random person? Let's find out.
One says they have not cleared Anon. Now, Anon says that he has actually been in the backyard, hanging out with the girls. Anon does have a little bit of a history. And Justin, I don't know if you believe in sex and money. Okay, did a reading for missing something. Interesting. What is in Anon's history? Anon has.
He was asked, what is in Anon's history? What is in his history?
I have his background, but.
I have his background. Why the fuck do you have a background of some person that just gave an interview? This is what they do. They run background checks on anybody that they think is a potential suspect in the case. Oh, Rick, did I miss something?
I'm going to say allegedly because I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Allegedly, drug charges and a breaking and entering allegedly or two. So there's that.
So now he's publicly telling his audience off a background that they ran that the man has charges in his past. Granted, he was never named a suspect. Justin says he was never cleared, though. Thank you, Nana L.
He also said in an interview recently that he was giving some hitchhikers.
You can't understand him, Emery? It's really short. I don't know.
A ride from the school a while back. And he said that there was a guy and a girl and they got in his car and the guy said,
listen to this shit.
If we come out missing, like he was really scared, I can understand maybe some, they're young. It can be, I'm sure, nerve-wracking. But he said that the guy said, if we come up missing, people will know where we're at.
He's talking about the Idaho 4 case. The reason I'm playing this is because people don't think that he does stuff like this. People are really convinced that he is innocent. No, they took a random stranger, just like the guy with the cut on his arm in the Idaho 4 case, and they tried to corner him as the suspect too. Yes, Revival. He was absolutely uncomfortable. He was the neighbor of the Idaho 4 victims. So he made a mistake, did interviews, and the YouTubers decided, oh, we're going to go run backgrounds on this guy. How does that work out? Yes, I will, for sure, KB. This one's almost over. It's a really quick one.
Hello, House of Williams. Good to see you, darling. Good to see you, everyone. Welcome to the House of Williams.
Wings of Fate.
Thank you. She needs attention. And then Anon said to the person that was giving the interview, well, what does he think? I'm going to stab him or something? And to me, that was an interesting set of words. Not, I'm going to kill him, not, he's going to shoot him, but stab. And to me, that was an interesting thing for him to say. First of all, I want to say that everyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law.
Everyone is proven innocent until guilty in the court of law. Why wasn't Dre given that?
We are not saying Anon is involved in this, and everyone should respect him as a human being and not harass him, contact him, anything like that. Let's keep our opinions classy. And if you do have an opinion, please write "in my opinion" or "allegedly." That is very important. That way we know it is an opinion. It is not a fact. Or, if you've heard something, please write, I have, this is speculation, or in my opinion about this, allegedly, because things get muddy. So that's it. I have no problem with, going over theories and all of that. But at the end of the day, they're theories. Now, you got to have facts in those theories. It just can't be all right out there. So that's just what I want to say about that. So the other day.
Okay. So you get it. They run backgrounds on people that have no, like they've never been named by law enforcement, but they run them. They just go ahead and feel the free to run anything on anybody. Sorry, I'm on a different screen, so I'm probably looking really weird right at the moment. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to find the video that I want to start with. I had it pulled up and then I watched a bunch of other ones. So give me 1 second. We are going to go to the Jose interview. Now, y'all, I'm going to speed this up, but I'm going to try to catch it to slow it down. If other people are talking, because Justin is like extremely hard to watch. He talks like this, but somebody else gave me a suggestion that the other people are hard to understand because they speak faster than him. So that is what we are going to do. And this is going to be triggering. Jose is no longer with us. Did he take it down? If you took it down off your thing, you're silly because I still have got him. Hold on, I'm looking at his thing. Did he hide them? Hold on, I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at. This is funny. I think he did hide them. Jose brought some receipts. Can you guys see that? They were right here. Well, you goofy little bugger. Okay, we're going to go right over here then. I'll let you guys look at that while I go right here, here. Downloader. Finished. What are you taking those down for, Spanky? Why are you taking those down? Huh. Interesting. Give me 1 second. Jose. I got it though. Number 1. He must have known that things were coming to pass today. All right, ready? This is, I'm not going to be able to slow. Oh, shit. If I do it this way, I'm not going to be able to slow it down. Oh, well. Oh, well. This is going to be annoying. We probably won't get through all of it because it's going to be really freaking annoying. I wonder if I did it through a loader, though. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourself. What's your weather like in your area? You guys tell me. Ha! There we go. All right. So, stop that one. Here we go. Yeah, he totally took them all down. Well, he should have listened a little bit further into my discussion. I went and already downloaded all of them. Like, hiding them is not going to work for you, Spanky. All right, so this is back to an interview we watched. If you missed out on where we're at, last Friday we talked about the situation of Summer Wells and Jose. Jose was brought into this in an interview done by Spanky and ICU. Just to give context of what's happening here. He was actually hunted down. They hunted this man down. Unfortunately, Jose is no longer with us. I did post the link for a video that you can go watch on that confirmation of why or how he passed away. We will do that in this timeline of things, but I want to start here. So let's get going. And I'm sorry, y'all, this is going to be boring. I can't speed it up on this one because it's a download straight to the thing, and that's not an option. But we'll try to skip through as much as possible. This is ICU, the professional background runner of Spanky and Moose Knuckle Magoo. Sitting next to Spanky. Again, this all falls under fair use content. This is based on my opinion only of the content that they put out here. This is for educational purposes and to point out the misinformation that they continue to spread in these cases. Let's go. Welcome in.
Find him
to first to make sure that he was safe, and to also get.
Sorry, I don't want to listen to his background, but oh, we're just gonna go. Okay. All right. Emery, I think because of Molly's suggestion, I'm not really sure. Trigger warning, yes, this is very hard. Thank you for that, Margot. Thank you. I'm gonna actually put that up. Let me put that banner in. Does anybody else get SNL vibes here? The news desk SNL vibes. That's all. That's all I see. Yes, I will. Absolutely. I'm going to pin your comment. Is that okay? I really appreciate that. No, Margot. I appreciate this so much. Yes, was that justice she has, and we're going to talk about those too when we get there. There's a lot to get through with this. Again, thank you guys so much. Hold on. We're going to get started, I promise.
All the bad bitches work. He like when I brought that.
All right. Let's go.
Well, hello, my dear friends. How's everybody today? Today we have a very, very special guest for you today.
Lotus, this was 11 months ago, I think is what it is. Let me go find the actual date on the download. But it was within it's been within a year.
The long overdue Jose. If you're not familiar with Jose has been around the Wells home. He knows the dynamic of the family from the time that he spent there. And, we've many of us have tried to get in touch with Jose. He was a hard guy to get in touch with, to say the least. So ICU and I worked extremely diligently to find him, to make sure that he was safe, and to also get. We really wanted his take on this because, in a lot of ways, we had really talked to everyone else. It's been 8 months.
Remember, they're not investigators. They're not nothing. They pulled this man's information and they hunted this man down for their own personal vested interest, not for the good of the case. FBI had already talked to Jose, which we watched in the last one.
Since Summer has went missing. And I felt like he was the missing link to at least him giving his side of the story. So ICU, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So without further ado, I am going to, Jose is with us on the phone. Jose, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. All right. Chat, if you guys could let me know if you could hear him fine, that would be great. Before we do get started, I want to say absolutely everyone is always welcome in my chat room. It doesn't matter what part of YouTube you come from, what channel you come from.
Bullshit. As long as you don't try to correct them on their misinformation. Okay.
Who you support, who you don't support. That is not what I'm concerned about. What I am concerned about in this chat room is that everyone is respectful. You can get your point across without being hateful or anything else. So that is the only thing that I ask of anybody that comes in the chat. If you are not respectful, what will happen is the mods will warn you, put you in a timeout, and then if you further do that, then we will have to unfortunately block you. So we don't have.
By the way, this was one of his highest viewed videos. He had, I think on this one, he had almost 96,000 views on this video. So for him to put it on private says a whole lot. What are you trying to hide, Spanky?
Have to agree on everything in this case.
Yes, there is a American True Crime. I will share it again. They did a video on the actual cause of death and factual information. Chasing Truth covered this quite extensively. I would take anything she said as truthful. She seems to be very truthful too. If you want to know more about the story, we'll get through some of those pieces of it, but there's a lot to this. So some great channels. Chasing Truth does really good. Thank you, Patty. And this one lash is going to give me all sorts of issues.
The main point that I am here for is for Summer Wells. And that's it. So just be respectful, be kind to one another, and you can all tell your opinions, your feelings, but if you have heard something or you believe something, you please put in my opinion or allegedly in the chat, because a lot of people can take things as fact, and that is also how misinformation can get out, and we don't want that, because there's been enough in this case. So
there's already been enough misinformation spread in this case, of course, but he's going to continue to do more. Again, they hunted this man down for their own selfish needs.
Jose, how are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there, actually. Rough night, but I'm doing okay.
Good. Yeah, you're a hard one to track down.
Yeah, I literally was, I had mental problems, and I just went off grid to, get myself back together again.
Yeah. So Jose, can you tell?
I have mental health problems. I went off grid to get my. Can you imagine? They don't give a shit about that.
Tell us how you how did you get down to Tennessee? What led you down there? How long did you stay in Tennessee? And just the general concept. I'll give the floor to you right now.
Okay, so basically I was going through a real bad divorce, and I basically had a psychotic break, and I was staying with a friend of mine that actually was going to move down to Tennessee, and I wound up going with them to go down there, and where we were supposed to stay, the place had fell through. We didn't really have anywhere to stay, and my friend was, his.
Y'all, please understand this is really hard, and for a lot of people in the comment section, please be respectful to one another. There's been people that have been here from the start with this case who are very invested in the Summer Wells case. This is very hard for them to hear Jose's voice again. It's very hard to know what they do now. So please be respectful. Everybody's got a lot of opinions on this, and it's problematic. They should have never sought this guy out. This is absolutely horrible what they did to him.
Children's mother had lived down there, and she had a friend that basically had a room, and no one wanted to stay there, but because of what I was going through, I decided to just stay in Tennessee, and I wound up renting the room from Candace, and they were great to me. They were actually real nice. They helped me out, and so I was basically staying with them. I was almost there a good 6 months living there.
Okay.
And
from approximately when did you was you in Tennessee staying with the Wells to approximately when did you leave?
This would be maybe, I believe it was February or March. I remember it was winter time.
Mm-hmm.
We wound up going down there, and I left like a little bit almost before we were touching fall, you could say.
Okay. Okay. Okay, go ahead with your story. You're fine.
One thing I'm going to point out, because this is very common in their interviews, they had talked to him previously on the phone for hours before. They talked to him hours before this interview. This was all talked about with ICE. They had called him on the phone after they found him, sought him out. They had had conversations previous to this. Do I think that there was a lot of things planted? Yeah. Yep. I absolutely do. I think that they absolutely help tell a story, and then that story gets repeated to their audience. I've seen it time and time again. I can't confirm what they actually say to these people, but we've watched them do it with Marvon Sr. We've watched them do it with Letitia, how they completely will take a story that supposedly they had been talking previously, and they will spin it into a narrative to turn it in a certain direction to make their audience think, oh, there's more to this.
So I was staying with them at the time, and they was helping me at the time. Donnie wasn't in the
Absolutely, Mellow One, agree.
Residence at that time. He was actually in Utah
Mm-hmm.
at that time, and I was renting from Candace. She was there with her mother as well, and her 4 children. Well, not
Tori, I let you sit in here and talk shit all the time. I'm sorry, but if you're okay with this type of misinformation being passed in the Summer Wells case, first and foremost, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't know who the fuck you are. This is a public platform. If he doesn't want people to criticize the bullshit that they have done, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not attempting to help the Summer case. I'm trying to point out the facts and the truth and the misinformation that they spread. Get it right. Have a great day.
Not her 4, because Josie actually wasn't there either. Josie was with Donnie Wells in Utah.
Okay.
So in the house, it was basically Wayland, Wyatt, and Summer.
Tori, go get your real account and come back. Come on. Go get your real account and come back. Get some balls. We don't have time for this. We're actually listening to Jose, who is no longer with us. If you actually gave a shit about this case, this would be a problem for you. Let's focus. If you can't focus, you know how to exit out. Bye-bye. Be an adult or don't come back.
In the house.
Okay.
And so while I was staying there, a lot of things had transpired while I was there. You know, I guess they all liked me in the sense of relationships wise. You know, they found I was cute or whatever. But at the time, because of what I was going through, I really didn't want to hook up with no relationship type deal. I was just trying to get myself together, you know, having severe nightmares and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I was there, I could remember the first time I initially walked into the home, that we were coming up the driveway, how to get up there. Their lawn was like, like if you was in another state, they probably would have got fined for the way that lawn was, because how tall it was. You know, lawnmower was sitting there. You know, the kids didn't really have much play area. Also, at the time, I also found out there was a poisonous snake lurking around in the yard.
Oh, wow.
You know, they had a beehive hidden under the lawn by the driveway. It was pretty bad. I found all.
Okay, for those of you that have been following the Marvon story, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey here. Do you remember the first interview with Marvon Sr. that these guys did? Do you remember that? And how there was so much random information that was given out that was excessive, that didn't really make sense. And they kept like things that don't actually matter in the big scheme of things. Every one of their interviews has stuff like this in it.
All these things out after I mowed that lawn for them, so the kids could play. I remember the first time I initially walked in through the door, I was pretty much shocked at what I saw, because as you entered, you see mattresses on the floor, blankets were thrown all over the place, and TV was in a certain particular corner with movies piled up. And then as you entered through another door, you got to the kitchen area, and truly it was disgusting. Dishes piled up, looked like it hadn't been washed in weeks. Roaches all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I remember asking them to use the bathroom, and you would walk a little bit and had to go behind these double dressers that they basically turned into a wall, so you couldn't see someone actually using the toilet. So they had the toilet there and the sink and the shower, which was like a shower stand. And where the shower was, when you looked down, it was supposed to be like a little closet area where they had all their clothes just hung up and things like that. So when they were taking me to where I was going to sleep, it was downstairs in the cellar. And I was thinking, I don't see no stairs. How the hell am I going to get down there? And when I looked, just behind this counter that they had that basically looked like a bar that they built, there was a hole in the ground, and you just walked down those stairs and you were into the cellar. And when you looked to the left was the parents' room.
By the way, for those of you that don't know, there's a lot of misinformation in his interview. There's a lot. Yeah. Well, Don wasn't even there when he was there. He left. Don was in Utah when he first got there. Then Don went to jail, and he left, 3 days after Don went to jail, I think. Very short period of time of them actually being in the same house, from my understanding. And he wasn't there for 6 months either. So take what you're hearing in this interview and remember that there's a lot of misinformation. That's why we're going over it.
And
now, when you say cellar, do you mean basement?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically,
Okay.
yes, the basement.
Okay.
So when you walk down those stairs, as you're going down through the hole, you would look to the left and to the left.
Y'all, there's none. You just so you know, there's a lot of people. Jose did say some really different things, so people have some really interesting opinions. Yes, this is the real Jose according to what they claim. But there's a lot of people that feel that what Jose did was a little odd and stuff like that. So you'll probably get a mixed bag in the comment section of people not liking some of the things Jose said and done too. Just so you know, I've seen a lot of that recently in videos. I didn't tell you guys that.
Left was a big open area. They had a 42-inch TV on a shelf. Their door to access outside into the driveway was there. They had a couch in front of that door, and then their mattress was basically on the floor. They didn't have no bed rails or anything. It was center blocks on the floor, and the mattress was on top of those center blocks.
Whose bed was that?
And then that was the parents' room.
Okay, downstairs.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you say there was a couch in front of the door that goes outside?
Correct. Yes, that was to prevent any of the kids opening and closing that door. When y'all finally contacted me, just going a little ahead, when y'all had contacted me and was telling me everything that's going on,
they were telling him everything that was going on. They contacted Jose again and filled him in on what was going on. Same thing that they did with the Marvon and Letitia story. They contacted the family and filled them in on everything in the end. Like, they were the ones that were giving Marvon Sr. and Wynette their information. Absolutely insane. Oh, Margot, I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of problematic stuff in this. Hey, Heels.
I can clearly remember that, looking at these videos as they were talking with Donnie, and he's like, well, Summer's pretty intelligent. She could have opened that door. No, there is no could have. There is a definite. because she had the consistency of always unlocking the door and walking out whenever they see fit. And this was not just Summer. This was also Waylon and Wyatt as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they would just come in and out freely, you know?
So
Candace,
the door did lock.
For them. Excuse me?
The door
You
did
said
lock?
the door does lock or it did not lock?
No, it did not lock. Something was wrong with the lock, and they couldn't find the key. So they basically had this, not a love seat, but the larger one that looked like it was a sofa bed, but it wasn't. And it was blue. And they had that pushed up against the entranceway of the door. And that's where the kids would hang out and sit and watch the TV, watch movies and cartoons and things like that.
Okay,
And
so
then
the couch was inside, right? It wasn't like...
Yes, Mellow One, let me do that right now. I'm going to post the video. So it's actually posted in Chasing Truth's community section. She shared a video and I'll post it right now.
Now they didn't have...
No, it was inside of Candace and Donnie's room, but it was pressed up against the wall that literally the door was there.
Okay.
And I slept in the room adjacent to them. And in that room adjacent to them was basically the kids' playroom. And all their toys was in there and stuff. Another thing was when I seen a photo of where they showed how the boys' beds were and things like that. That bed was never there. That bed was the bed I slept in the cellar. It was literally pushed up against the wall, and the rest of the room was the kids' room that had all their toys. And I remember it specifically because the kids would always come downstairs. Hey, Jose, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, what's up? And they would be like, we came to play with our toys. And I would be laying there, and I'll be like, go ahead, have at it. Go play with your toys, And Candace would yell from upstairs. That,
There's
leave Jose alone. He's trying to get rest and stuff. And I would tell her, don't worry about it. They're kids. Let them play. I really don't care at all whatsoever. So it was basically my room / their playroom, which I never denied them entry.
Yeah, Heels, I've heard that. I've heard that he attempts to strike these. He actually put this one on private or something, but I have it downloaded. It's all under fair use. He can strike it. He can take me to court in 10 days, whatever he wants to do. But Jose didn't deserve to be hunted down. They sought him out. Should I just put my full screen and let it play in the background? Should I do this?
There was no door.
Should I do that? Yes, Autumn, exactly. He privated the video or took it down. I don't know. It's not up there. We just went and checked before this, but I have it downloaded. He privated all of these with Jose. What do you guys think? He lost them all? Okay, Heels. Should I do it like this, or can I play it from... What is your guys' suggestion? I mean, I don't care. He can strike all he wants. It is what it is.
The room, they could just freely walk in.
Why would you strike content that you wanted out here for years and years and years? I don't know.
What was there doors anywhere in anywhere in the house?
Only the doors to get in and out of the home.
Okay, but there was no internal door.
There was an internal door from the first room you entered through the front of the house to get into the kitchen. It was a blue door with a glass window.
You guys can watch me put my lashes on. We'll do it like this. Okay, perfect. Yeah, he took him down. I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's so weird.
And that door, when the kids were, not behaving. This was after Donnie came back.
Hey, hold, one second, Jose. I see you're having some feedback.
Heels,
your mic may be okay, there we go. Go ahead. Sorry, Jose.
Okay, so Donnie will always keep that blue door closed, and he would tell the kids, don't mess with the lock. We don't have the key for this door. Leave the door somewhat open. And it was basically, to keep the house warm and things like that. But if the kids did get out of hand, you know, Donnie would send them in that room and close both doors, the doors to the front room and the door to that kitchen. And the kids would be in there.
But I thought Don was in Utah for most of it. Yes, you guys, please understand, Jose did not live with the Wells when he went missing, or when Summer went missing. I'm going to pin that one for a minute. He was not there when Summer went missing. That is 100% factual information. Why was he going after him? Anna, ICU and Justin, I guess, and some other people decided that they were owed answers, and they thought Jose was a missing person, or like the missing link, that they were going to get some answers. So they hunted this man down and did a whole narrative around it. You're going to hear there was a video that he did previous to this, his amping up. It was his big break for his channel, basically. This video got 96K or something, and then there was previous or ones after this that followed too. He ran with all sorts of shit, but he bought him a pair of boots, right?
Though they had TV and then...
Uh-oh. The call dropped. Hold on. That's not good. Sorry. Hold on. Jose?
Please leave your message.
Look at the desperation. Yeah, and that's true too. Heels and Deets on the Streets are providing factual information too. He was not there. He said at the beginning of this that he was there for 6 months. You notice the details that he's painting out after a conversation that he had with ICU and Justin. And then he was handed off to the interview room for Chris McDonough to further the bullshit.
Sorry about that. I'm bear with me 1 second. I'll call him.
Please leave your message.
I wish they could have not gotten back.
The gentleman says, dang it.
There.
Oh, you gotta love technology.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah, absolutely. Margot, I'm sorry. Lots of peeps were curious. Ms. Peacock, are you ICU? Because ICU and Justin took credit for hunting this man down in the video we watched the other day. They took credit for hunting him down.
Please leave your message.
Hey. Jesus. No problem. He'll call me back.
Catherine. I agree. Oh, was that just I missed your thing? Thank you so much. I'll play it in a second.
Please leave your message.
Hey, ICU, can you try to call him?
Yes, I can.
Okay. This is in real time. Yes, we. Okay, hold on. I got him. I think. ICU. Jose, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Call drop. The signal's kind of pretty bad where I'm at the moment.
That's okay. No worries. Okay. All right. So you were talking about the kids was put in a room, or was something to that effect?
Oh, yes. That would be the front room as you get to the entrance.
Leading questions. Leading him. Every time. Hold on, they've got auto. That's him, not me. Here, I'll put it on the screen.
Oh, sorry.
Bed that was on the wall, and
could you repeat that? Sorry, there was a problem. Could you just start from the beginning?
Okay, so in that room, basically, Candace and Summer, Grandis, and Wyatt would sleep in that front room. They literally had 2 queen-size mattresses on the floor, and then
one thing I noticed is, why would he be calling her Grandis? Isn't that what the internet named her? Was Grandma Candace? So Candace's mom's name is Candace also, and the internet started calling her Grandis. Why would Jose be calling her Grandis? Who would have taught him that name?
they had a futon bed against the wall. That's where Grandis had slept because she had a knee replacement and she couldn't really get up and down from the floor. She also had a camper on property that, she slept in once in a while as well. And Wayland would usually sleep in the cellar in his parents' room on the couch, and he would fall asleep watching cartoons on TV.
Oh.
And I would be in the next room next door.
Okay. So why would Don put the kids in the room? Like, what did...
If they disobeyed, didn't listen to what he said, he just would get so upset.
Heels, that becomes very apparent too, because Molly comes on in one of these interviews and starts screaming and says, Jose, tell him about the money I gave you. The whole same exact thing that was done with Marvon. It was like verbatim in a lot of it. It's disgusting.
Start screaming and yelling at them, and go in the effing room. And that man, listening to him talk to you, it's like looking at 2 sides of a coin.
Again, Don wasn't in the house when Jose first got there. He was in Utah, and Jose left, I think, 3 days after Don went to jail. He wasn't there for 6 months.
Because he talks to you one way, but when you see him behind closed doors, this is totally different, man. F-bomb out of his mouth, S this, like freely. It's like the F word is definitely a prime word in his vocabulary, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Did Don go to church whenever you was there?
Did he go where?
Did he go to church?
No, he never went to church. Never. From the moment he would come home from work, he already had beer in him. So basically, you're driving drunk.
Autumn, I got him. If you need him, I've got him.
Coming home from work, and then when he did buy food for the house, when he got there, it's basically stuff from Dollar General, Family Dollar things.
You mean the Dollar General down the road there where the...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. I've been
there.
It
would be all junk food, like the chips, cupcakes, Twinkies, things like that. That's not food for children at all. I mean, it's snacks for them, yes.
Right.
But as far as real home-cooked meals, that was not happening. Home-cooked...
Anna, yeah. Yep. He became a big... Yep, Dietz is saying it. He became a big part of the narrative, in part because of Hunter's dad, Andrew's presence on YouTube. Yeah, the whole thing. This spun off. Unfortunately, he had fentanyl in his system, so it seems like an overdose, probably unintentional. I don't know if it's a fentanyl poisoning. I'd have to go back and watch for that exact word, but his autopsy had fentanyl in it. So unfortunately, as we all know, that's a huge killer in America.
Meals wasn't being cooked often until I entered the home, because I remember...
Nunya, right? There's so many questions about this. You guys say whatever you want in the comment section as far as just keep it respectful to each other. But if you know what's going on, feel free to talk. We're all eyes and ears. Thank you.
We're telling them, hey, I would like to cook something. And Candace and her mother, look.
Miss Peacock, who the hell are you in this we thing? Like, where do you fit in? Are you a creator? I'm not understanding your line of comments. You say we were curious. Who's we? Are you speaking for Spanky, ICU, and Goose? Are you part of that group? I'm not understanding the whole we. The internet was interested in Jose because he was nowhere present when a little kid went missing, and they figured he could provide pieces of information. What? As a crime community. A crime community. Okay. I forget these people pretend that they're in the crime community.
I mean, like, wait, you know how to cook? I'm like, yeah, like, of course I do. I have 3 kids. I used to cook for them all the time. I love to cook.
Confused.
That's one of the things I enjoy doing for my children. So let me make something for them. And they sat there in amazement watching me cook. And as I'm cooking, I'm washing all these piles of dishes, you know, and putting them away on the side. They didn't even have dish holders, you know, everything was just laid out on top of a counter, you know, dish on top of dish. The spoons were just laid out like that. But if you looked at the rest of the home, just things were scattered everywhere, you know?
So this helps build a narrative and paint a picture that they are terrible parents. They didn't care. They didn't provide food for their kids. All of it. Think about where we're headed with this narrative.
You know, it looked like she was in the process of moving, but she decided to stay.
What do you mean she decided to stay?
I don't know. She said she was gonna. She didn't want to be there alone with the kids anymore because Donnie was gone and he shouldn't have left. He should have stayed. She didn't want to move to Utah. She specifically stressed that a lot. I don't want to move up there. I don't want to go up there. No. You know, and I guess she was about to move because a lot of her stuff were still in boxes and scattered, and they were looking for things. It was a pretty big mess in there. And little by little, I would help them, you know, clean up little by little. And the more consistent I got with it, the boys started to help me, Waylon and Wyatt. You know, I would do the dishes, or Waylon would dry them, and Wyatt would put them up so they wouldn't break or anything. They started sweeping, you know, when they returned back to school, and they would come home, you know, they weren't even allowed to eat until they had to do their homework, which I feel that that's wrong because, you know, the children eat at 11 in the morning and they're coming home at 3 from the bus, 3:30. Of course, they're going to want to eat something small. They're hungry. They're young. They burn through that energy. And they couldn't even eat. They had to do their homework first before they ate. And even after their homework was done, it's dollar pizzas, you know, or chips or cupcakes. You know, I'm saying to myself, like, where's like.
Okay, again, a child's missing. He wasn't there. The FBI had already cleared him. What's the point of this interview? Can anybody tell me? Because what he's doing right here is putting a ton of information out publicly that is trying to paint a narrative of a certain thing. They're bad parents. They're this, they're that. Well, okay, you know, but again, he wasn't even there when the child went missing. So this is to establish a story for Spanky and crew. That's my opinion. You won't change it. Period. Point blank. End of story.
Turkey and cheese, tuna fish, maybe a can of spaghetti and meatballs, you know, things like that. Not even that was there.
Don't worry, they bought him a
you know, and I could remember that when the first month that I was there, Allie would constantly, every single day, she would go to Walmart, all the way to Kingsport, to Walmart, and spend her little bit of money that she earns from her job, you know, taken away from her children and giving it to Summer and the boys, because even she was eye to eye with me. These kids need to eat. Like, what's going on here? You know? And it was just an incredible experience, you could say, an eye-opener. It made me realize, wow, you know, compared to these people, I'm a wonderful dad, you know? Like, I cook, I clean, wash clothes. I've even done laundry for them, even, you know? And they are amazed because all they kept saying is, Donnie don't do things like that. Like, that man does not do anything. All he does is work, drink, come home. That's it.
Okay, could you tell us about when Don returned? How did all of that go down?
Well, basically, when he was coming back, I remember Candace was telling me that, oh, he's pissed. And, you know, before he returned, I find it kind of strange that he said he didn't know who I was until he came home, because I had spoken with him on numerous occasions on the telephone while he was on his way back from Utah. You know, and I thought everything was cool between us. He came home, he was calm, he didn't drink the first 2 days. On the second day that he was there, he got his old job back, was ready to return back to work. And next thing I know, he's back into work. A couple of days later, he gets paid, fills up his fridge full of all this frozen junk food and beer and liquor. And right away, it's to the drinking. And I remember a couple of times I would be downstairs, you know, laying down about to pass out, and I hear them fighting upstairs. And it's not like a normal fight. It's a drunk fight between two.
So in the beginning of this interview, he states that he went with a group from New York to Tennessee. He got stuck. He ended up renting a room. That's what he says. I don't know more than that.
Drunk people.
Yeah, when you say pass out, you mean going to sleep, right? I just want to be clear.
Basically, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, but
You just got to be really clear on
here.
here.
At the time that he returned, I had started a part-time job, you know, to earn a little extra money and things like that. So, you know, it would be like almost 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 maybe, and they would be hammered, like, and I mean hammered, but they didn't look like they were hammered, but they were drunk. We were talking Black Velvet and a fifth of it, and they will always have a 12-pack of Mountain Dew under the table. And I clearly remember that because the minute the box opened a soda and Candace would crack it open, Summer would come running into the kitchen. Can I have soda? Can I have soda? You know, and
typical children. What does this have to do with anything? Anna, this is a pattern of behavior of what they do to victims in their cases, their stories. They will go and create conflict. This is the opening of chaos that ensued with Jose. Then he went on, and now the man has passed away. This is one of, in my opinion, the misinformation cronies, aka some of them call them tragedy pimps. This is one of their victims, in my opinion. Jose should have never been brought. Jose wasn't there when Summer went missing. Maybe he can give a little information of what the house looked like when he was there previously, but the FBI had talked to him previous to all of this and wasn't a factor. So the internet themselves went and sought this man out for answers. That's what the internet does. True crime creators, I should say, as they call themselves, some of them.
I'm like, baby, you don't want juice or water? And she would be like, no, I want soda. And they would just give it to her. And I would tell them, you know, too much soda is not good for her. You know, she's too little to be drinking that, you know? But you could only say so much before you realize that what you're saying is going through one ear and out of the other.
Right.
And
so,
you know,
when did things turn?
Heels, I've shared a video that they posted a bunch of that stuff. Chasing Truth shared it in her community tab the other day, and then I saw it through there, so I just shared it on my community tab too. It's American True Crime is the channel that did it.
After Dawn came back, and can you tell us about that?
About a week after he returned, things started to really deteriorate with me being there. He kept accusing Candace of sleeping with me while he was gone and things like that. When I finally saw the video that he was talking with the guy Chris from TIR, he was telling them that, oh yeah, you know, she had this guy in the house, you know, and, you know, he was gay or whatever. That's a bold-faced lie. I'm not gay. I'm nowhere near that.
Okay.
You know, I am a straight man. I prefer women. That is my preference.
Right.
Period. And
that's a
you know,
so you're
his sexuality should have nothing to do with this, period, point blank, end of story.
You're saying where Candace and everyone said that you preferred men that
Deets, I was wondering how people would feel about that because it is a lot of information, but I think it also gives answers because a lot of people were really concerned. I don't know. I'm always on the fence with that kind of stuff because I'm like, would I do that? No, but I understand.
You actually are indeed straight.
Exactly.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And I believe that they were telling him that to just
Heels. They just did it like 7 days ago too. But if you have been paying attention, there's a channel that has been using Jose's interview and talking about it and like putting him back in the mix of things currently. Some guy and girl, I don't know. I don't know who they are. I can't even remember the channel name. He drives me freaking nuts. He talks pretty slow too. But they've been talking about this a lot lately again too. And it's interesting. I don't know.
ease tension so they wouldn't.
No, cracking cases? Is that the name? Cam and Allie. I think somebody sent me the other night and I clicked in for a little while and they were talking about this and I was just like, oh shit, nope.
Be like a severe conflict. But during the time that I was there helping them and stuff, they're realizing like, wow, this guy's here. He's renting from me. He's a good friend. Helps my kids with homework. He cooks. He cleans. Like, who is this guy? And it's nothing special. Like, there's many of men like me who do things like that. This is what you're supposed to do. These are your children. You want their well-being in your heart constantly. You want to make sure they're fed, their clothes are clean, they have a proper bed to sleep in, and I get emotional talking about that because I remember, seeing them sleep on these couches, on the floor, and it would bother me a lot. And I'll be like, like, what's going on? And it was always one finger's pointing the other. Oh, it's his fault. Or he would say, oh, it's her fault. They just constantly kept blaming each other instead of just meeting each other in the middle.
Susie, he wasn't really there long enough for that. He wasn't there long enough. Hey, thank you for becoming a member. Let's take a music break really quick because I know this is really hard for people to listen to. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you guys for the super chats, super stickers.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
And again, trigger warning. I know this is really hard for a lot of people to listen to because, again, Jose, unfortunately, is no longer with us. And this story has been very problematic. The reason why we're doing it is because you will notice it starts off kind of slow, but as it goes, there's a lot of fill-in that happens. And this is what the misinformation cronies, in my opinion, are great for. This is part of their pattern.
Common ground and fix things together. It was always a constant conflict. Past was kept being thrown up on each other's faces, and things like that. So about a week after, it started to get very heated. It was always about me, always. And my name just kept constantly flying out there. And one night they got so drunk. This was the week that I had left. They had gotten real drunk.
Is this the night where the police came?
Yes,
okay.
Correct. And I remember that night very clearly because I was half asleep. I was literally half asleep, ready to, go into Wonderland, as you would say. And all I could remember was hearing this loud, banging thump noise, like if someone hit the ground. And I remember jumping off the bed. And
I wonder if these exact conversations are what they talked about in their first communication and all the videos that they sent Jose to watch about what was going on in the story. I'm just curious.
Running up those tiny steps, and peeking out, and Candace is literally on top of Donnie. Like, don't you ever put a hand on me and things like that. And I'm like, what is going on? And she was telling me this asshole here is saying me and you doing something together. And I'm like, yo, we're not doing nothing. We never did anything, like, at all. And he was like, I want you out of my house. And I said, I will leave this home when your wife tells me to leave this home, because she's the one who is renting from me, and she is the one who is helping me.
Mhm.
You know, you were nowhere around, so you have no say so here at the moment, especially that you took your oldest son and you ditched the rest of your family. You know, if you could have moved to another state, pick up your entire family and go. Don't take one child and leave the wife with the rest, because that was wrong. You know, and if Summer, as he said, is his world, she should have been the first one on that truck with him. You know, when he left to Utah, not leave her with Candace. And then
this is nothing about Summer being missing. Nothing. How I'm with Nunya on that. What was expected to come out of the Jose? What was the hope? Because it seems like everything went south. He opened this off by starting out by telling him he was having mental health issues and he had just had a mental health crisis. That's how he opened this up, by the way. If you missed the start of it, he flat out said that he was struggling.
Leave Candace with barely any money. Candace would have to call him. I need money for food. I need, money to pay the light and things like that. And she would be full-blown fights with him about that. And, eventually he would give in and send her a few dollars. And that was it. But it would be a full-blown fight just to get money from him, from Utah, so she could get whatever she needed for the house. So that night, after he got up and he's yelling at me, he's there drinking his a beer. I don't remember what kind of beer it was. It was a brown bottle. And I started to tell him, once a cheater, always a cheater. You cheated on your wife while your wife is downstairs in the basement with your daughter, and you up here in this room where your sons are sleeping at, and you're having sex with some lady who uses drugs, and you're saying you're helping her. Yeah, I could imagine you're helping her. And I guess he didn't like the truth being told in his face, because he wound up throwing it.
No, you're totally fine. This live is absolutely pointless. There was nothing. The FBI had already talked to him and did their investigation. This is where YouTube thinks that they're more important or need answers for things that law enforcement doesn't. YouTubers think that they are law enforcement or investigators, and that's why they ended up with Jose instead of just the FBI clearing him or talking to him. It's fucking disgusting. I agree with you 100% though. 100%.
The beer bottle at me right in my face, and the beer bottle wound up breaking, and it chipped my front tooth. Mm-hmm. And I remember after that initial, hit, I literally...
You want to say stuff like that? Put in your opinion, or don't say it at all. Until somebody is in handcuffs, you don't know that. Neither do I.
Literally, Grandis was in between us, and Candace was behind Grandis. Like they were trying to keep us separated. Mm-hmm. And at that time, that's when Donnie just shoved Candace out of the way. And I started to approach him as he's coming towards me. And Grandis is still trying to keep us separated. But, I was already... so much anger was inside of me that he done threw this bottle at me, like, oh yeah, that's it, I'm done with this. And I wind up moving Grandis out of the way. I didn't shove her, I didn't do anything. I just pressed my chest up against her, and when she felt my force, that's when she just moved out the way, because she knew right then and there fist was going to be flying. So as Donnie went to go and throw up his fist at me, I literally walked right up to his face. I had my hands in my pocket, and I had him balled up in a fist. And I said, I'm waiting. Throw it, because you found the right one with me. Maybe other people are afraid or intimidated of you, but I'm not. I've dealt with people like you, growing up. And instead of him lunging at me, he started to step back and started to move back to get out of the home. And at that time,
again, can anybody tell me what this has to do with the missing child? What have you learned about a missing child in this so far interview? Anybody? because I sure as fuck am missing the point again. All I see is two greedy pieces of shit sitting here exploiting a man that they, in the internet, I guess, assumed had some sort of missing information, even though he wasn't even there when Summer went missing. However, they decided that this was going to be great for their channels. The start of their channels, the first video to hit 96,000 people. I mean, that's all I'm seeing. I'm seeing clout chasing, some coins, and some misinformation. That's it. That's all. Doesn't seem to really be about Summer at all, does it?
When Candace decided to call the police. And when she called the police, Donnie ran. He jumped in his truck. Mind you, he's drunk. You know, he jumped in his truck and he drove away. That same night, maybe 20, 25 minutes later, the police wound up coming up the hill, and Donnie wasn't on the property at the time. And we were explaining to the police officer what had transpired there and stuff. And the police were like, "Do you happen to know where he went?" And we were like, "No." And next thing we know, Donnie's coming back up the hill in the truck. And that's when the police officers, you know, proceeded to him, and they raised up their guns. They asked them to step forward in front of the vehicle. And that's when we were telling him he's drunk, like literally drunk. And
Crimes of fashion, I can understand that, because it sounds like, well, he openly was talking about he was already having struggles. He's had a problematic history. He was having history issues, you know, all of that. So I can see what you're saying for sure.
So they gave him, I guess, whatever exam for a DUI, you know, and in the police officer's eyes, he passed it. And then the police officer comes and says, "Well, you know, in my family, we have drunks and they're coherent. So he's probably a coherent drunk." I don't care what you say. When you're drunk, you're drunk. There's no coherence in that whatsoever. You know, you're under the influence completely. And then that's when Candace had told the police officer that he had a gun in the car. And he's a known felon. And the police officer's like, "What?" And that's when Donnie admitted that he did have the gun in there. And he tried to say it was a muzzle loader, but it wasn't. It was like a little 2-shot Dillinger that he had in his glove box, you know? And I'm saying to myself, this man came all the way from Utah with that gun in his glove box? Like, what do you need a gun for? And you a known felon, you know? Back in my past, I've been arrested, and I know for a fact I can't carry a firearm. If I do, I'm...
Oh my goodness. I mean, they already had his background information, so I'm sure they knew he had been arrested, but right there.
That's a felony charge, and I'm going to prison for a long, long time.
Mr. Nice Guy, if you're going to say stuff like that, put in my opinion, things of that nature, please. We can't make accusations because you don't know that's factual, and neither do I.
Right.
So I know for him to be doing that, you have no respect at all for the law or anybody else, you know? And they basically arrested him and charged him, I guess, for domestic violence because Candace was just crying all over the place. They had this physical altercation, and then they were talking with me, and I was telling them about me and him.
I did it, Mr. Nice Guy. I did it. I timed you out. Not my mods. I did that. Sit on your fucking hands or get the fuck out. Goodbye.
With the altercation, and they asked, would you know, we can't ask you to press charges because you basically don't have no physical wounds on you. And I'm looking at the police officer like, dude, look at my tooth. Like, he literally chipped my tooth. And that's not a physical altercation or not to be arrested after he threw the beer bottle at me, you know, and nothing really happened. They wind up taking him to jail for whatever happened between him and Candace.
Mm-hmm. How long did he stay in jail?
Not long, maybe 7 days, I think, tops.
Okay, I need a 1 in the chat. Have you heard anything about Summer yet? Or a 2 in the chat if you've heard about Dawn and Dawn's poor behavior and him and Candace. One, if this is about Summer. Two, if this is about character assassination of Dawn and Candace. I mean, you tell me what you think.
He was in there, I believe.
Okay.
And I remember Candace going down to the courthouse, and I was with her. Her mother was with her, all the children, and she went in there, you know, and did the order of protection, and she had it, and she had to fill out some paperwork, and me and her mother had to help her fill out that paperwork. And then she went back in. I guess they gave it to her, and she came out, and I kept stressing to her, don't let him back in. This guy, something is wrong with him. Just from this altercation that I had with him, I know for a fact, this guy is brutal. This guy has no conscience whatsoever, because you're physically abusive to a mother, a grandmother, that, like he admitted, she hated his guts. She had reason to hate this man's guts. You know, this man was violent. He wasn't passive. He wasn't calm, you know, and to hear these videos say, oh, he's a calm.
To hear these videos say,
calm man, you know, he fits this description. No, he's a calm man in public. You should see the man behind closed doors. That's a totally different person. It's like,
and you know that because oh my God, this is frustrating. This is super frustrating because this is exactly, Sam is Chris McDonough. He's another YouTuber. He goes by the Interview Room. In my opinion only, he's a piece of shit and a misinformation crony too. No different than this. He is an ex-law enforcement, which that is why I have such huge disappointment for him, because I don't think he's much any different than anybody else. But that's who that is. That's who they're referring to as CM. Okay, I'm going outside to smoke because this is frustrating. If I do this, can you guys still hear it? Tell me in 1 second.
He switches, you know? Like one day he's okay, and at nighttime, it's like a doc.
Could you guys still hear that? Them talking like that?
The Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation with him. You know, one point he's fine and calm and laughing it up, and in an instant he changes to, you know, to Jekyll, and he's raging and arguing and throwing things, and that's the type of man he is. And on a power trip. What he says must go, and everyone must listen, and he don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm. What? Tell me about the thing that they would do whenever the kids were sleeping.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that, Nani, if I'm missing those comments. Y'all, I'm not doing a Summer Wells. I'm not a true crime creator. This has nothing to do with that. I'm not jumping into the Summer Wells story. None of that. This is to point out that there is a pattern of behavior with these quote unquote people that call themselves true crime creators. They set up things like this. They bring in family members. They give these crazy interviews. Things happen. There's money exchanged. There's false narrative is exchanged, but it's done to paint a certain narrative in a direction by a certain group of misinformation spreaders. And that is part of the pattern. And that's why we are reviewing this. Thank you, Nania, for reminding me to make sure everybody knows that I'm not jumping into that.
With the shaving.
Oh, yes. There was times where it wasn't Donnie. This was before he came, but they would play pranks on the children, and while they would sleep, they would put shaving cream all over them while they were sleeping. You know, and I'm like, you know, at first I had laughed because I thought it was like a get back to the kids, because the kids did that to their mother one time, you know, and everybody in the house was laughing. It was fun.
Mr. Nice Guy, are you having a rough day today? Do you need a hug? I mean, you're seeming to have a really hard time. Sit on your hands, act like an adult, or go away. Have a good day.
Funny, and the mom was laughing too. Candace was laughing about it. And she's like, oh, don't worry. I'm going to get ya. I'm going to get ya. But, you know, the kids are sleeping, and they wind up doing it to the children, and it was like nothing. You know,
oh, my goodness. Look at these people. I love when you touch nerves. You are no better when you sitting here playing an old video of things they did. I guess the point has been missed. It's called a pattern of behavior. And if they didn't want this out here to begin with, they should have never done that. So I'm going to criticize the fuck out of it. Okay. Thank you for the permission. Goodbye. Have a good day.
If I do, that's a felony charge.
We're going to fast forward because this is 5 hours. We're going to
Envy you for that, girl. You know, most of us men, we envy you women because we can't give life and you can. God blessed you with that, you know? And if you really want to redeem yourself, the proper way is for you to actually speak out.
Amen.
Don't lawyer up. Why are you going to lawyer up? There's no sense in that. You're only making yourself look guilty to everyone instead of you standing as a strong woman that I always told you you was. You always had a voice. You were just too scared to use it. Well, this is your chance to use it because he's nowhere near you. He can't hurt you no more. He has no more control at all. His power is now in the hands of the correctional facility.
That's right.
He is where he belongs, where he should have been.
Yes.
And that's what I'm really asking from her. And I know she knows my voice. And the people who are watching this stream who know me, they know it's really me.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of them have their mouth and eyes wide open, the ones that know me. And
Yes.
I know in their hearts, they're like, oh, shit, it's really him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said, if they ever gave me a chance and they ever told me to go to court, I will go there. You could abuse me. You could say whatever you want. But I know the truth and God knows the truth.
Amen.
And I've seen enough for me to know.
Spanky, stop with the amen. 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 Fuck.
That Candace was in fear of that man.
Mm-hmm.
And so was her mother.
Jose,
They
I
were
can't tell you
scared
the
to
people who's just supporting you right now, just saying that they can hear it in your voice and just the
This
support
guy,
you're getting.
I mean, you know, the night that I got into that altercation with him, all I was thinking about was every time this man laid a hand on her, every time he dropped the F-bomb, I would look at this house so disgusting while you're sitting there as this arrogant man who thinks you're entitled to have it like that when you're not. You ain't no better than me and I am no better than you. And I told Donnie that right to his face. This was before I swung at him. I said, you ain't no better than me and I'm no better.
This so reminds me of people they brought on to talk about Dre. Definitely reminds me of that situation. I'm sorry that for those of you that can't see a pattern here, but this is absolutely how they run shit.
Than you. You want to throw punches? We can do this because as hard as you can hit, I can give it back. But best believe you
Obama. A lot of people have said that.
better make sure I don't get back up because every time you knock me down, I'm coming and I'm going to get back up.
Just a reminder for those of you coming in, we're an hour into this interview. I skipped through some of it because we're supposed to be talking about the Summer Wells case, right? That's why he was brought up, because he was the missing link, they thought. So far it's been about Dawn and Dawn's bad habits and Dawn and Candace fighting and the house looking in shambles. We really haven't heard anything much about Summer.
Until my last breath, until I can't get back up, you are never going to keep me down. If I got to be the one man to be that tip of the sword to pierce through your skin and your heart, I'm going to be the one to do it.
Right. Can you tell us if, so you did say Summer had wandered off before.
Numerous times, numerous. This girl, she knew how to lock doors, unlock it. She always played hide and seek. I remember one video I was looking at with the refrigerator that was outside. That was her favorite hiding spot when she played hide and seek with the boys. That was her go-to. And if not there, inside Grandis's camper, in the bathroom.
Again, her name is Candace. That is Candace's mom. The internet termed her Grandis. Jose obviously picked that up through watching and talking to the YouTubers.
You know, I remember this clearly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like something that I heard. I remember it. I used to be outside watching them running around, laughing, you know, having the time of their life.
To put it on a lighter note for a moment, tell us about summer. What was summer like?
Okay, timestamp it. We are 107 and 8 seconds in. Tell us about summer. An hour in.
Oh my God. Summer reminded me a lot of my little girl. A lot. Like, just thinking about her, I just want to break down because, you know, she doesn't know what's right and wrong. She's still in the process of learning how to speak properly, brush her teeth, keep herself clean, you know, but she was alive. She alive. And I mean, us as adults, we could have learned from her. And I say that with conviction because that girl loved. She didn't care. She loved unconditionally and had this biggest, beautiful smile and this loud laugh that the minute she started laughing, you had no choice but to laugh. You know?
One thing I want to point out here, because there's a lot of people in my comment section, and I'm good with the differing opinions and the comments, and like, feel free. But what I'm not okay with is the fact that every one of the cases that they get involved with, the victim, Summer, is always forgotten about. It becomes everything but about Marvon, Cash Gernon, Xavier Harrelson. The names go on and on. Gabby Petito. It becomes about the YouTubers and their personal vested interest and gain in this. It becomes about a story. The victims are completely forgotten about, sadly, by many of these people.
If you got hurt, she was the first one there. Oh, you got boo-boo. And she would run in and grab a rag, throw water on it. Let me help you. That was Summer. That was her. Completely her. You know, and it was the picture that you wound up showing me that she's laying there on the milk jugs.
The picture that you were showing me, I'm going to back that up so you guys can hear that. Well, I have to go this far.
You know, so it's not.
Sorry, I'm going to replay this. It's about a minute.
Like something that I heard. I remember it. I used to be outside watching them running around, laughing, you know, having the time of their life.
To put it on a lighter note for a moment, tell us about summer. What was summer like?
Hold on.
Oh my God.
Let me hear what
Summer reminded me a lot of my little girl. A lot. Like, just thinking about her, I just want to break down because, you know, she doesn't know what's right and wrong. She's still in the process of learning how to speak properly, brush her teeth, keep herself clean, you know, but she was alive. She alive. And I mean, us as adults, we could have learned from her. And I say that with conviction because that girl loved. She didn't care. She loved unconditionally and had this biggest, beautiful smile and this loud laugh that the minute she started laughing, you had no choice but to laugh. You know, if you got hurt, she was the first one there. Oh, you got boo-boo. And she would run in and grab a rag, throw water on it. Let me help you. That was Summer. That was her. Completely her. You know, and it was the picture that you wound up showing me that she's laying.
The picture, yeah. The picture he showed. Oh my God.
In there on the milk jugs. That is the nicest clothes I have ever seen on Summer. Because Summer
that's the nicest what?
Nicest set of clothes
Nicest set of
ever
clothes.
owned. Because Summer hated clothes. She hated to have a shirt on. She hated shoes on her feet. She will always be in just her pajama pants, running outside, full of mud and dirt, but she's being a normal child. What kid doesn't do that? You're 3, 4 years old at the time. Of course, children are going to do that, you know? And that was her. So when I seen her in the outfit just laying there, that's typical Summer. She used to always pass out like that.
So she would fall asleep on milk jugs.
On anything that was there, whether it was milk or a bag. I remember a couple of times she would say, Jose, I want you to sit next to me. And I would sit next to her and she would put her head right on my shoulder, you know, my arm and my shoulder, and conk right out, like literally knock out.
Yeah.
Because she was so tired.
I think last night you said that she had fell asleep with her
on a tire.
Yeah.
I remember that one time too, in the back of her grandmother's silver Silverado, where they were in the back, and you know, Grandis had it very cleaned out. You know, she was.
When you say the back, you mean the bed of the truck, but it had a cardboard on it.
Flatbed, exactly. It had the
or not a cardboard, but the.
Listen to how he's filling in the gaps of this now.
The cover, yeah.
Yes, it did, and. Grandis had it cleaned out very well, especially if Summer was there. She didn't want her granddaughter getting hurt at all whatsoever, you know, so she will always have it cleaned out. And when they would go back there, it just wasn't Summer, the boys too, you know, Waylon and Wyatt, they would hang out back there too. When Hunter used to come over and hang out, even he would hang out in the back of that truck and sometimes pass out with Summer. You know, and Summer would just pass out anywhere. If she got tired enough, as we spoke before, I told you one time.
As we spoke before.
She got so tired, she was on her knees. And she was laying on a chair and with her head and her arms crossed. And she literally fell asleep just like that. Mm-hmm. Like conked out, and I'm looking at her like, Summer, baby, and she was out cold. Like if you would have pushed her the right way, she just would have hit the floor, you know. And I remember picking her up and bringing her to the bed and putting her down and putting her favorite blanket on top of her, and she would conk out for like a good 2-3 hours. That girl had so much energy, it was amazing, you know.
Unfortunately, Summer has not been found. She is still missing.
Yeah. Let's see here. Was there any other neighbors that would come to the house?
No, it was pretty much isolated. Like, in a way, I felt like they lived a double life. Like, you know, one way they would live this way, and then, you know, their other side would come out when no one else was around, you know? And I think that they were just hiding things.
Y'all, hold on. It's off. Y'all okay? Everybody okay so far? We're all doing good? Give me a thumbs up or emoji if you guys are okay. I know this is hard for a lot of you to listen to because you guys have followed this case deeply, know every turn of it, have been around. Just checking on everybody, making sure you guys are okay. We're going to break this into pieces because this is a 5-hour interview and then there's hours and hours after. Just checking on everybody. Margot, you okay? I know this is hard for you. Deets, Heels, all of you guys in here. I know you guys have been following this pretty extensively over time too. Okay, we're going to continue on. I'm sorry, y'all. Remember, the point of this is to show a pattern of behavior that the misinformation, that the harm that actually is caused by the misinformation. That's why we're doing this. I'm not a true crime creator. I'm not into the Summer Wells stuff like this. I'm doing this because it's a pattern of behavior. Spanky gets a pass on a lot of things because he's not as vocal as like Moose Knuckle Magoo. He's just as problematic, in my opinion, possibly more in ways. In ICU, who likes to be in the background, running backgrounds on everybody, like the Idaho 4 gentleman that they tried to put into a spot. We listened to that earlier. Absolutely insane. It's a pattern that continues to happen.
And I think, when they let me stay in that home, I was the monkey wrench
Revival
that was thrown into that well-oiled machine, as you could say, because Donnie had it a certain way until I was placed in there.
Right.
And once I was placed in there, you could say I was that monkey wrench. I was destroying every.
Kitten Claus, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Y'all, welcome to the cabana. Again, I'm going to hit a button. I know this shit's heavy.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got
America True Crime is in the comment section, y'all. That's who did the video of Jose, the factual information. Please go check it out. I also shared it on my community post. Thank you for that, too.
Gear possible, because I kept showing the kids and them, you shouldn't live like this. This is the way it should be done. And when they were saying, oh my God, I've never seen a man cook. Like, who are you? And I'm like, what? I was like, how many of us are out here? Like, there are a lot of dads that do this. Like, I'm not the only one. And they're there all this time. I've known Donnie, or I've been with Donnie. He's never done anything like what you're doing. And I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? So it was a bombshell to me to know that he didn't cook. He didn't clean. When he came home, he had everyone else do the cooking and cleaning while he's sitting in the kitchen getting drunk.
Wow.
And that was his style.
Was there any neighbors around there that did any type of drugs?
There was a family down the hill from them that were meth addicts. They used to literally smoke meth on their front lawn, but I guess they didn't give a crap because they're in the sticks. Nobody ever went around, so I guess they felt they could do whatever they want. I remember one time going down there, they were having sex on the lawn, literally butt naked, and we're not talking like pants down, no, fully butt naked, no shoes, no clothes around, and they're just having sex on the front lawn, high as hell.
Wow.
And I'm looking at that like, what the hell is going on here? And I just turned around and walked right back up the path, back into where I was staying at.
Was there ever any run-ins? Like, was there any?
Oh yes, Donnie had a run-in with them one time.
He didn't even finish the question. Oh yes, there was a run-in one time. This was already talked about. I mean, I'm sorry, I have to call it what it is. They knew what they were going to talk about.
Smoking meth, and Summer and the boys were driving their four-wheelers, and they just happened to be around that area, and Donnie was looking for them, and Donnie flipped on.
Watch Spanky's expressions.
Them, we're like, what the hell are you doing using these drugs out here? And he's like screaming at them, turning red and everything. And then come to find out, he's doing the same thing too. I didn't realize he was even into drugs until, Candace and her mom were telling me, him disappearing to Mexico, like for 2 weeks at a rip. We're not talking 1, 2, 3 days, 2 weeks. You on a drug bench? How much money are you making from this job that you can pick up from Tennessee and drive straight across the border and live there for 2 weeks and then come back like nothing ever happened and return back to work like he was never gone? It never really made sense to me at all.
So, Don, he had went to Mexico, allegedly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that was something that, when they got into their drunk rage arguments, she would constantly throw in his face. You're always disappearing. How about the time you went to Mexico and we couldn't find you for 2 freaking weeks? Your sister had to go down there and drag your ass back home.
His sister?
Yeah, I believe it was Donnie's sister that went down there and found him and dragged his ass all the way back. Like, what the hell are you doing,
Wow. So Don's
yeah.
sister
Wait, what? This is wild to me. Where did this come from? Do any of you know where that shit came from? Of Don being in Mexico? That
One of his sisters allegedly went and got.
Yeah, that was what they were telling me. Telling me, and I've heard in Drunken Rage. You know, when people, before they become.
That's what they were telling me. Telling me. Play it again. Okay. I hate this one because it goes back in such big chunks. Hold on.
Happened to be around that area, and Donnie was looking for them, and Donnie flipped on them. You know, we're like, "What the hell are you doing using these drugs out here?" And you know, he's like screaming at them, turning red and everything. And then come to find out, he's doing the same thing too. You know, I didn't realize he was even into drugs until, you know, Candace and her mom were telling me, you know, him disappearing to Mexico, you know, like for 2 weeks at a rip. You know, we're not talking 1, 2, 3 days, 2 weeks. You on a drug binge?
What? Autumn, this is a download. This isn't from that's not loaded like that. I don't think it will do it like that. I'll try it though. I should have loaded it. That's what I'm going to do with the other ones. I'm going to load it to my YouTube and do it.
How much money are you making from this job that you can pick up from Tennessee and drive straight across the border and live there for 2 weeks and then come back like nothing ever happened and return back to work like he was never gone?
What?
It never really made sense to me at all.
So, Don, he had went to Mexico allegedly.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, that was something that, you know, when they got into their drunk rage arguments, she would constantly throw in his face. You're always disappearing. How about the time you went to Mexico and we couldn't find you for 2 freaking weeks? Your sister had to go down there and drag your ass back home.
His sister?
Yeah, I believe it was Donnie's sister that went down there and found him and dragged his ass all the way back. Like, what the hell are you doing, you know?
Wow. So Don's
yeah.
sister, one of his sisters allegedly went and got.
Yeah, that was what they were telling me. Telling me, and I've heard in Drunken Rage. You know, when people, before they become full-blown drunks as the alcohol setting in, there is truth behind.
That's what they were telling me. What the frick?
What drunk people say.
Sure.
You know, because it's like a truth serum.
Mm-hmm.
So as she is letting it out, she is in tears, like she's reliving that experience every time she mentioned it, because she would.
How did we get back into this? I thought we were talking about Summer. Is that all that they talk about Summer in this video? Does anybody know? Anybody have ever watched this whole entire 5-hour thing?
Break down.
What the hell?
And tears drop to her knees, like all her life force is being drained out of her, just talking about that one time, you know? And when she spoke about him cheating, you know, on her while she's downstairs, that would be another memory that would drain her emotionally, physically. Like, you know, to be around these people and looking at myself, I knew what she was going through with that torment, you know, with those memories just sitting there and no way for you to vent it to someone who actually gives a fuck,
right.
You know? And here I come, and this is not 1, 2, 3 conversations. This is multiple conversations over the time I'm there with her in the kitchen, and she is in tears, you know, releasing it to me. And I would cry with her, and I would share personal stories with her about me, just to let her know, hey girl, you're not alone. You are not alone in this world at all. I feel that pain. I know that suffering. You know, I'm here for you. I wasn't there for her you know, like sexually, but as emotional support, I was there. You know, like, don't worry about it, girl. We got this. You know, I'm gonna help you as best as I can. I'll show you certain things that you can do to help, you know, you cope with things. But, you know, the years of torment from what this man has done to her has literally broken her mind, you know?
Was there any other instances that you had saw Don hit the kids, throw things at the kids, scream at anything like that, any type of physical?
Oh, he was always doing that. Always. Always.
Listen to the line of questioning. Pay very close attention to how he leads with his questions. It's very, very much a pattern.
And always constantly threatening them with the belt. Always. This brown leather belt that had roses on it and horses on it. I would never forget that belt ever. Because that belt was at least a 1/4 inch thick, 100% leather.
Wow.
It had this brass buckle on it that almost looked like a cowboy buckle, but it had the little tube for you to slide into the hole. And I only remember that belt because Waylon and Wyatt got into a fight over a cupcake, and he got in between them, and he whipped the belt out and he slapped it on the table, and he slapped it so hard that the belt mark put an indentation on that table, like it. And that's when I knew, you know, oh my God, like, are you really gonna hit them, you know? And I started
again painting a narrative in a certain direction. I'm not saying anybody's innocent or guilty, but Don is not currently under, well, he might be under investigation, but he's not been charged with anything to this point in time. And unfortunately, Summer is still missing. This was supposed to be about that, but I guess they forgot their own plot.
To get nervous because, you know, when I grew up, I was beat with belts and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's like traumatizing me. And my first initial thought was, if he swings this belt at one of these kids, I'm lunging at him.
Yeah.
I don't care. I am.
Anybody also remember the Quentin Simon story where the babysitter supposedly shared photos with Justin and others of all the bruises that the kids had on them all over their place, and they ran with that narrative? Do you remember that? Convenient how each time the pattern of behavior exists in these cases. Oh, wait, Dre was harming her children too by starving them. They were malnourished, all of that stuff. That's what they said. Pattern of behavior.
Lunging at this man, but he would never do that. I've never seen him do that. But as far as putting hand to butt, oh yeah, I have seen him slap Wyatt. I have seen him throw Waylon once. Summer was the only one who never got like physically threatened in that sense until that one time that I seen Donnie actually pull her pants down coming up the driveway, spanking her ass. You don't do that. You could disappear. You know, I don't want you leaving the house. So, you know, when I saw the video that he's like, oh, well, I don't know, but she's intelligent. She might be able to open the door. I'm saying to myself, you effing liar. Do you know how many times this girl can open that door with ease? And this isn't something that's rocket science. This girl would be up before everyone in the house. And when we were getting up, you know, well, at the time I was working, but before I started working, there was a time where I got up. It was 7:15, maybe 7:30 in the morning. I come up the stairs to go use the bathroom, and the front door is wide open. And then when I go and I look through the window, Summer's on the swing, and everybody's sleeping in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I know personally the doors were locked, you know, because I was one that before I would go to sleep, I would check the doors, you know, to make sure everyone was safe, because 3 women in the house, well, 2 women, a little girl, and 2 boys, and I'm the only male there, and I'm in a new area. I don't know anybody. You know, and where I grew up at, you know, your ears are perking and your eyes are open, like, you know, you really don't fully trust the area that you're.
Again, for a reminder for anybody that hasn't been here, Jose was not there when Summer went missing. Jose was only there for about 6 weeks. Jose, there's a lot of inflated stuff in this interview. They had been having conversations on the phone previous to this. There's just a lot of mess here.
In because you don't know it. And I will always check the doors to make sure no one could break in or push the doors at all. But 7:30 in the morning, and this 3-year-old is outside on the swing, and everyone is out cold.
Did you ever see Candace hit the kids?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But that's when they got out of line with her. You know, it wasn't like she always beat them. No.
Not like
there
Dawn.
were times where, there were times where the boys would definitely test her patience.
Right.
Like you could tell, let's see how far we could push mommy. You know, and most kids, they do that. They always do that. They test the waters. You know, but they would constantly do that to her, and she would hold back and hold back and hold back. And I guess from her holding it so much, you know, and then there'll be those instances where she finally just loses it, and she either slapped them or, you know, or like grabbed them by the arm or pinched their ear, you know, things like that. But as far as like really being brutal with them, no.
Now, Jose, you know, you had really no, I mean, FBI, you have talked to FBI and everything, but you had no idea.
He had talked to FBI for hours previous to this.
Idea all of this stuff was on YouTube till last night, correct?
Correct. I stood up the whole night, shaking, hair standing up, in tears, with regret, a heavy heart, because even when I was there, I feel as a father, I'm disgraced with myself because I couldn't do that with my own children. And I'm disgusted with my actions that I should have just fucking picked up the phone. Yo, this is going on. These kids are living like this, you know, drugs, alcohol. And instead, I turned a blind eye, you know, and it's not till I got my mental health back that I started to realize, you know, a famous saying, evil will always prevail when good men stand by and do nothing. And that statement is so true and hits home so hard because I was there. I was the person that literally defended them. I washed your clothes. I fed you. I made sure you were in bed, safe, sound, loved, comforted. I did whatever it took to make them know everything's going to be all right, you know? And I had the chance to do something. And in that phase of me going through my mental issues, I was a coward.
No, please don't say that because you have to. No, you wasn't a coward. You have to take care of your mental health too. I mean, you were going through a divorce as well. You know, I mean, it's not like you really wanted to stay with Candace and Dawn. You know, I mean, the house wasn't available. That was the only place you could go.
Listen to this.
At that point, you know, it really.
Yes.
And so, what was it?
But yeah, after looking at the video, and I am going through it and looking at the interviews, and then I hear other people talking about.
He had been up all night watching all the YouTube videos.
The way she's behaving now, that is so long that, you know, Summer's been gone. And as I'm looking at these videos, I'm appalled, like literally disgusted by her actions. I'm saying to myself, where's the Candace I know? That is not the woman I know, that I remember.
So you mean
at all?
The woman that you're viewing now is not the Candace that you know.
Exactly. That is not the Candace I know.
Okay.
It's not. That is definitely not the same woman I remember.
So, you know, I told you, I see you and I told you last night about how
ICU, and I told you last night.
How she went, you know, how Grandis went to the hospital. Dawn went to work. You know, I told you all of that. They got back home. That, you know, I told you where all they went. I gave you the full story. Everybody in here pretty much knows it. The full story. They planted flowers.
I gave you the full story.
And Grandis and Candace was over at Grandis's fixing her knee brace. Candace said Summer wanted to go inside. Candace said she walked Summer from the little camper to the house, which is very close.
That's a lie. She didn't have, no, never that. There's enough times I've seen Summer go right to grandma's camper alone, unattended, without an adult, while Candace is in the kitchen and, you know, drinking away.
Yeah. Well, you told me last night. You said
when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God, what a bullshit lie! Like, you are straight lie. Like, what's wrong with you, Candace? Like, really, what's going on in your mind? Why you keep defending this man and lying about you walking her over? No, you don't. You would literally tell her that."
Nanya, it's making me like twitch. It's so similar. It's making me just have a fit over here. I'm trying to keep it together. Y'all, we're probably going to only do like 30 more minutes of this. I don't know how much more I can take of this shit. This is absolutely just frustrating. This has all been about a narrative that they want to be pushed.
Go in the house. You know how to open the door. That's how she would talk to Summer, because she knew how to open and close the door.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a guess. I knew this for a fact. I've seen her do it with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. You know, the girl is intelligent. She's very, very smart. Mm-hmm. But she knew how to get in and out of that house. You know, and I always tell people, if she didn't know how to get in and out of that house, why the hell was that sofa in front of that bottom door?
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
You know, and then I remember us also having the conversation when you said, "Oh, they got tint over the window." They never had tints over that window, ever.
When you said,
you could walk up the driveway and literally see right through the windows, clear as day.
Okay. So Candace says that she walked Summer over, that she told the boys to keep an eye on their sister. She said she saw Candace walking through the kitchen, and she said she goes over to Grandis's. She's there for about 2 minutes, and then she comes back over, and Candace says, "Boys, where's your sister?" And they said, "Oh, Mom, she went downstairs to play." Candace said she went downstairs and she couldn't find Summer, and that she immediately freaked out and started screaming, and she was just, quote, gone, end quote. So
did anybody ask her if that cellar door was open? Was the couch there? Because that would have been my question.
Yeah.
Was the couch still in front of the door?
Do you think
because when Donnie got there, I remember Donnie shifting the couch over because he was bringing wood into the house to keep the house warm, because they had a wood stove in the basement, and that's how they would heat up the house.
Do you think
this is only part one, y'all? There's hold on, let me tell you what it is. Let me pull that up. Okay, so it goes from, this is the Breaking Surprise Live with Jose. Then there's exclusive Jose interview night 2, which is 4 hours. Then there's Will the Real Jose Please Stand Up, Meet Jose, 3 hours and 35 minutes. Then there's another one, exclusive Jose brought some receipts from Rogersville to Rock Hill, which is another 3 hours and 45 minutes. And then reaction to the interview room with Jose, 2 hours and 41 minutes. Then Justin did an announcement of Jose Roman has passed, which is 38 minutes. Then he did another one, an hour and 50 minutes. Jose update Texas school tragedy. A thank you. That's the name of that one. And then Spanky also went to the Summer Wells visual live, and he did a live stream there. So there's a lot of this. A lot.
It's possible that somebody could come up that hill, take the child, knowing exactly where she is, and that there's adults around and kids around, and that the boys had been there allegedly all day by themselves.
Oh, hell no. With all them dogs they had there, are you crazy? Them dogs would chew you up if they didn't know who you were.
Yeah, they would.
even came after me the first time I ever came out of the truck. That
Yeah.
Candace and her mother had to yell at the dogs, you know, like, don't come after me.
Right.
Because them dogs are vicious. And I mean that. If you're a stranger, them dogs are going to come chew your ass up. Like, there's no question. And what also is real puzzling to me is you can't come up that driveway without nobody knowing you coming up.
Right.
You got to know.
Well, I
Because where the house sits at, it's next to basically a cliff on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
If you step the wrong way, you're literally falling a good 50, 60 feet down.
Yeah.
Right into the street, to the road that's there.
Hey, I want to make something clear in chat here. The dogs that are there now they're just puppies. They got rid of the rest of the dogs that was there. They were just puppies whenever we were at the house. So the person who said that, hey Kelly, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
But you know, I mean, even if someone was, say for instance, laying in wait up at that house, right? Someone was in the house or something.
Known. They would have known where Grandis's camper is at. She has basically what I call a bird's eye view of the entire property, a full 360, because she had windows that faced the house. She had another window that could see to the left and to the right, and then the back window that was where the kitchen station part was to that camper was the cliff, and she could see the whole 180 from there too. She had the bird's eye view. If anyone came up that hill, whether they're puppies or not, when people approach puppies, they get excited. Right. You know, they start running around. You know, they may not bark like with anger, but they're gonna make some kind of noise.
Yeah, well, they're gonna at least go toward you and want to, you know, pet you or something. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Grandis's camper was the bird's eye view of everything. Another picture I saw from watching a news clip, when they showed it from above the land property, there's a blue truck that's there. It looks like a Ford. I believe it was a Ford.
I'm going to fast forward again because this is just redundancy of nothing.
You know, even though I was going through the emotional wreck I was going through, the fault lies within me, you know, and I take full blame. I'm disgusted with the way I left things with my own children, you know. I'm disgusted with my actions. I'm not proud of it. You know, I'm ashamed of it. And if they do hear this, I am very sorry. Your father's not the same. I'm definitely a very, very different person from what I used to be. I realized
He sounds like a broken man to me. He sounds like an absolute broken man to me that should have never been put in this position, period, point blank, for a fucking YouTube story.
Mistakes. I've working hard to correct them, and I apologize. I'm always praying for y'all. I love you very much, but none of us are perfect. We all go through it. Some are stronger than others, some are not.
Absolutely.
You know? And
there's no such thing as perfect. We all fail. We all fail.
Without
here we go. Spanky's gonna play the we care.
Failure, you will never know what success really is.
That's true. That's very true.
You don't. You have to fail in order to know what it's like to win. Without failure, you'll never succeed. Ever.
Yes.
You know?
So why would Andrew, I mean, why would he be scared or afraid to what's going on there?
He's a manipulator and a liar. He really is.
Okay.
You know, and I could tell you that from personally knowing he's actually a pretty good.
Rockabit, thank you so much. This is just a pattern. Like, the sad thing is like, here's the part that I can't reconcile. Some are still missing. You can find so much misinformation online and speculation. You can go right now and find streams that are hashtag Summer Wells. Some of them won't even be talking about summer. Some of them will be spreading more misinformation and going through the timeline and picking out things that law enforcement has obviously done back and forth. The victims get lost in these situations, and then they create new victims and re-victimize the actual victims for fucking content on YouTube. That's where I have a hard time with this. What about Summer? Summer's missing. We have a lot of YouTube creators out here that, you know, they don't care about a missing child. They care about their pocketbook, the numbers on their page, the clicks, the views. What happens to these people after they come online and bear it all? They don't care. They act like they do. Justin will, and the other ones will show you that he acts like he gives a shit, but he doesn't. It's disgusting, and it's time and time and time again. Thank you again, Rockabit.
Party all night, where we going, what we doing? House super clean, fridge on full.
But you know what their theory is? Oh, but we donate so much. We donate so much. We do so much for these people. Tell me again.
Guy, if you get down to the meat and potatoes, he's really a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just his ways are just bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's just set in his own ways. And for him to come out and say, oh yeah, I know where Jose is. I try to call him. I say on your channel to your audience, I call this bullshit. I really do. I call this bullshit. And I know he don't have my number at all. Because you have my number and just my area code alone, you know. I am nowhere near New York.
Right.
Nowhere near.
Right.
So there's no way that you have my number at all. And I challenge him, if he is watching or listening.
He is.
I challenge. I'm good. Call me right now. Call me.
He was listening, wasn't he, in jail?
Why don't you call who I'm talking to on the live stream right now? And I will.
That's where I would go to, Heels. Nunya Chasing is who I've watched for the factual information on this case, and that's pretty much it. There's just the TBI, like there's really not a lot, but they've made hours and hours and months and months and months of content off of this.
Personally give you permission for you to say my number on this live stream right now. And I guarantee it's not the phone number that what I'm talking to you with.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have my old phone number that I haven't had for years.
Yeah.
That phone is long destroyed. And I'll leave you a little secret. That phone is in the bottom of the ocean, 3,000 miles away.
Okay. Don't give the location. Just don't.
Yeah, I understand, but that's an actual fact there. So
Right.
I don't know who he's calling because he's not calling me at all whatsoever. You're a liar, and I'm calling you on it. I will be in front of your face and call you a liar.
Ice Queen, I'm going to have to disagree a little bit on that. I was sent a clip of them talking about this not just a few nights ago on live, and they were doing a lot of heavy speculation, and yeah, I was a little put off, so maybe I'll try again, but with my limited knowledge, I saw a lot of exaggerated speculation, and it wasn't really for me. Again, might be for other people, but I saw a lot the other night personally that I was like, that's not true. That's not what actually the TBI said. They brought Jose back up and tried to put him in. Yeah, I would suggest maybe rewatching both of us and see what we think.
He knows I'm not going to back down from him at all whatsoever. So you can say whatever you want. to whoever is on your YouTube channel and everything, you have no contact with me, Andrew, at all. You need to stop lying and be a man and be like, no, I haven't spoken to him. I don't know where he is. No, just tell the truth, because that is the truth. We do not speak. I haven't spoken to him in years, you know, and he's supposedly supposed to be my friend. So for him to be turning around lying on me like that, with friends like that, who needs enemies?
Yes.
And that's how I'm feeling about it, you know, and he shouldn't be a liar. He should actually speak the truth, because he doesn't talk to me at all whatsoever. I haven't heard his voice in years.
Okay. So last night, after we got off the phone, we were texting.
Yeah.
And guys, this is a trigger warning. And you know, everything that we say in this is,
it's loaded.
You know,
completely.
it's alleged, but you know, he's telling what his truth is. What did you say?
Notice he says his truth instead of the truth.
I did not ask you this question yet. I did not ask you.
No, Ice Queen, that's totally fine. Of course, I'm not going to tell you not to watch them or not like them or anything like that. I was just caught off guard because I could point out misinformation on this story, and that was weird for me because I don't have that.
But you actually answered it for me, and I said, "Oh my God!" Trigger warning to the audience.
So we talk about Hunter and Candace, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so basically one night.
Wait a second. Hold on. Pause. Isn't this a minor child? Isn't Hunter a minor child? I thought this was an interview to help talk about Summer. What the fuck is happening out here? This is a minor child. Yeah, okay. I'm passing through here. I'm not putting that out there again. That just
Father to take a bath with his daughter? No, you sick.
Okay. Yep. Then there's that.
Trying to get a story out there. So you can use "in my opinion" or you can get out. Thank you. Go ahead, Jose. Sorry.
So yeah, it's
none of us.
Until that incident,
No,
it was not until that incident that happened with that shower that really
was that. Yes. From the beginning, you know, when I saw Andrew, I really wondered if he was speaking to Jose. It was something that I really wasn't. Purple Knights hasn't. Yes, Purple Knights has been authorized that she can put her link in chat. So sorry, I did not tell the mods that earlier. I apologize. That's my fault. But I told her this morning she could.
Remember, Andrew also told us that Jose did not have a clue that Summer was even missing. And now we know that's false because the FBI went to him at his house a few days after Summer vanished. Yes.
But he also did not know, like he actually, like, he didn't know if she had been found yet or anything. He didn't know all of this stuff was happening on YouTube.
Oh, had no clue. Yeah. Not a clue.
Yeah, he had no idea of yes, Iris, you can add yours as well. So
did you get what you needed out of that, Spanky? Did you get your big break off this? You sure did.
It's a lot to take in. I have not slept at all.
I know, but that's okay. I'm still running on adrenaline.
You and me both, sister. Thank you, Lip Block No More, for the super sticker. Very kind of you. Appreciate you so much. It was very hard to find Jose. I think even the FBI had a hard time finding him, to be honest with you.
This shit just pisses me off.
I don't know, but thank you, AJ Price, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. It was very hard, wasn't it, ICU? It wasn't something that we just said. I mean, usually if ICU and I want to find somebody, we can find them within how soon can we find them, ICU?
Oh, I mean, like within a few minutes, but
Yeah.
no.
Oh, within a few minutes, I can get your information and email it out to a bunch of people. This is a pattern of behavior, and I'm sorry, I have absolute disdain and disgust for these people for a reason. And the reason is because of this. Jose was a man that was struggling with mental health issues. He wasn't present when Summer went missing. He wasn't there. He didn't have relevant information about the case. Obviously, the FBI had already talked to him. They had already done their investigation, but that wasn't good enough for Spanky and crew. They sought him out, hunted him down, wanted answers. He was their missing link. This was Justin's big break on his channel, though. This is what catapulted Justin into where he is. And each and every time they get excited about finding these people, they don't think about the aftermath of what this is going to cause to the real victims, to the families, the people going through this. It's all about them and their need for a story, right?
Oh,
Thanks, yeah.
this has been constant research and digging from daylight, from the time my eyes.
That research and digging that you like to do on people is probably going to come back to bite you in the ass, you scummy bitch.
Woke up in the morning until the time we went.
And I have every reason to say what I have to say about her because I know for a fact, and it's posted, that ICU likes to share people's information, even though it was wrong and not actually blank screen. They like to pass information around. That they all brag about ICU being their investigator, being the one that sits behind and pulls records on everybody. My disdain comes from the facts of what they actually do. Now, tell me how any of ICU's background polling has helped anybody in these cases. Anybody? Anybody that they've pulled a background on, tell me how that's helped these stories, these cases, the victims.
Went back to bed at night.
Yes.
Continuous digging.
Yes.
And we finally did it.
ICU would look, and I always say she looked and I verified. You know what I mean? Like, she would give me certain information and I would check it to see if it would work or not. And
to see if it would work or not. To see if they could make it fit into the narrative that they needed it to fit into. Instead of, is it factual information, to see if it would work or not. Catch that little number there? Yeah, I sure as fuck did.
Well, you made most of the phone calls for me.
well, that's what I mean. You would check, I would verify, you know. So.
Right. Yes.
Did Don know a man called Warren or Ian Murphy? Do you know that? I see you.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
If you want to answer it, or if you don't want to answer it, that's fine too. Did Don know a man called Warren or Ian Murphy?
Never heard that name.
Why would she be asking ICU that? Ask Dawn. She's not Dawn. What do they think? They know him so well they can answer for him? Oh my gosh, this shit, it pisses me off.
Yeah. Thank you, Jody Sidden. Appreciate you. Emma Hooper, thank you. D. Irish, Justin, I want to say thank you so much for your research and bringing this to us. I am so happy to see your channel grow, and I see you mods. Especially thank you, Jose. Thank you for speaking out for Summer. Thank you, D. Irish. Appreciate you for being here today.
Oh, and the honker's in like the second or third one of these. Yeah, she's on panel 2 actually again.
We do have the phone call recording of Jose from last night.
They recorded Jose's phone call when they called him. Think about that. Think about that.
That we are going to share. Obviously, it's 4:46. It was supposed to start at 4:30, but this has went over.
Oh yeah, Jeff, she was definitely in Savannah too. I've got her on video from Spanky. Imagine that. Spanky, are you gonna take all your Georgia videos down too? I'm coming for you. We've got Georgia, we've got Vaughn. You might as well just start taking them all down. But honey, save yourself the effort because I've already got them. I downloaded them before I even mentioned publicly that was switching to you content. You think that we haven't been paying attention all along to what you do? No, you just little bit slithery, a little bit more snaky.
The truck concerns me. The alleged abuse concerns me.
I'm so glad. I'm so pissed. I can't even talk. I'm so glad that these things concern you. Now let law enforcement do their fucking jobs.
Summer running around concerns me. The drugs concerns me. The going to Mexico.
You should be concerned about somebody else's drug habits. You have a lot of friends that seem to need some help. Maybe you should venture your energy that direction, in my opinion.
Allegedly concerns me. Can I ask when he calls, like, why did the people from my leave the same day they got to Tennessee?
All right, y'all, I'm done. I can't listen to any more of that today. Let me tell you what. So if for anybody that's following along with me, granted, I think you put it on private. We are 2:46 and 17 seconds into this video. 2:46:17. That's where we are leaving off today because I'm going to leave us here. I didn't realize how triggered I was going to get during this one. I've listened to some of them, but there's hours and hours of this stuff. I might do a pre-record in another one, but this is 5 hours. This interview is 5 hours. We heard 20 minutes maybe throughout the entire thing that we listened to about Summer. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like people can defend this shit. Like, I guess on YouTube, the thing that's hardest for me to understand is the fact that there's like a level. So people make mistakes. We all know that. Nobody's perfect. We are all human. Somebody's always going to make a mistake. It's how they come back from it and how they use stuff. These aren't mistakes. These are intentional things that these people are doing for content on the internet. They don't care about the victims. They don't care about the outcome that happens. They don't care about any of that shit. Y'all, I'll load these. I've got them downloaded too because I know he put them on private. So if you want them, I will download them. And then, we got to keep it on the unlisted because they like to strike stuff like that because it's not transformative. But you guys know how to get a hold of me. If you want them, I'll load them. But I have all of them unloaded. It's just, it makes no sense. Like, this isn't helping the victims. And here's the point at the end of the day. Summer Wells is still missing. Summer Wells's name has made more people more money than I am even comfortable understanding. This has been used as content with her name for clicks and views, for money. What about these content creators? What if that was one of their children? What if it was one of their kids in those shoes? Would they appreciate this? She's like sick. She's really sick. She needs to go to I gotta go, guys. I got a little one that's really sick. She's not doing good. Okay, y'all. I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, please stop believing everything you hear out here is fact. Ask the questions. Stop going with the narratives. They're harming victims. That's it. That's all. All right. Have a good day. I will see you guys tomorrow. I gotta go. I got a little one that probably needs to go to the hospital. Bye.